it is me, Tess. Today is Monday, not Saturday. I could have found time to record my Flosstube on Saturday, but I figured I had no stitching to show, so I may as well wait and until I'm a little less exhaustified. It's not a word, but it's a word I use often. It's when it just goes beyond exhausted. So as everyone knows, the last weekend was Easter, and I am quite involved in the church, and Easter is a very special, important time in the Catholic Church, as I'm sure you're aware, even if it's not important to you. I joined the choir, which I mentioned a couple of videos ago, and I didn't realise how big a responsibility that would be. I spent, not just for the choir, I also helped with the decorations. I ended up doing a double duty mass two after the other because there wasn't a reader, and I didn't want someone to sort of, I'll come back to that. Anyway, over the weekend I spent 25 hours of over 4 days at the church. That probably wouldn't have been so bad, except for the fact I also spent 18 hours over the 4 days at family events. And then on Thursday, I also worked an 8-hour shift, and people go crazy before a public holiday, and we weren't even shut. I obviously didn't work, I refused to work Easter, but it was crazy. So I did an insane shift on Thursday night, went straight to church after picking my kids up and dropping them off at dancing. I left them there and went straight to church. And then, 25 hours at church, 18 hours at family events. I crashed. So I've just been pottering around today trying to reorganize my craziness because I just haven't been present. So yes, I sort of just give you a quick overview. Thursday's Holy Thursday, the Last Supper. So I got there early for church, for choir practice. We sang at the Mass, which was an hour and a half, so it was longer than a normal Mass. And then because Jesus then is taken to die on Friday, there's nothing allowed in the church. The saints have to be covered or removed, like the crucifix has to be removed, all of the holy water has to be removed. There is nothing in the church. So Thursday night after Mass, I did stay and help Sandy to get all that done. Friday, we had hot cross buns. My husband's family have had a tradition for as long as he remembers to make hot cross buns from scratch. So you get to Nana's house early, make those. I went straight from there to the Stations of the Cross, where you follow the journey with Jesus as he is crucified. It was really warm. I don't know whether it was unusual or whether it's because Easter is so early this year. So I went home, had a shower, got changed, went straight back to church for the Passion of the Christ, where you venerate the crucifix. It's a lovely Mass, quite sad, but then you go through the story and the gospel of him being crucified. Then I sort of came home, and I must admit I did get to bed really early. We had fish and chips for dinner, again a staple, a tradition for Good Friday. I went to bed, it wasn't that early, it was probably 8:39. Saturday morning I got to church early, helped with the decorations because it's a celebration now, so put up the photos all around the church again, uncovered the saints, put up joyful decorations, went to my father-in-law's for Easter lunch, and then went straight back from there to church again, where we had the Easter Vigil, where the fire and water is renewed for the year, so that's like a 2.5-hour Mass. And then Sunday morning, typical Mass, went to the 8:30 because that's when the choir was singing. Had to get there earlier, like 7:30, because we had to practice beforehand. And then as I sort of briefly went off earlier, I noticed that there was no one down to do the readings. I don't know if you've ever been to a Catholic Mass, but there's generally 2 readings, one from the Old Testament, one from the New Testament. Because it's Easter, there was also a couple of other ones. But yeah, no one was down to do them. Me being a sucker that I am, and it's like, hey, Father Peter, do you need me to stay and do them? And he was very grateful. He asked me if that was possible. So I stayed and did the 10 o'clock Mass as well, to do the readings. From then, we went straight to my mother-in-law's house for Easter lunch, and then we went straight from there to my auntie's house for Easter dinner. I'm tired just thinking about everything I got done this weekend. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, even though I am utterly bone-crushingly exhausted, I loved it. It's such a special time. It was so meaningful. It's over for another year and we can move on. So yes, this morning, husband very, very kindly let me sleep in until like 11:30, even though he had the kids all Easter weekend. I had them for, I think, the Passion of the Christ, because they altar served then, and slept in. Once I got up, got the kids lunch, I tried to sort of tidy my area because it had just become a dumping ground, and then I was just too tired to keep cleaning, so I continued to work on my design. I'm liking the tree a lot more. I decided to start over this side because I really wasn't loving it. I'm going to keep going, see how it looks when I'm done, but I'm not hating it as much now, which is a good thing. And I've also started making a list. Well, I've been making a list forever for Mania, but I've locked in 16. I'm debating the others. I have a box of patterns and ADA and everything else there that I've got to sort of match up and see. So my next video, hoping to show you a finish on this and complete Mania plans, because I will need April to create the floss cards that I need. Sorry, cat. We'll need April to create the floss cards and grid any ADA that I need. No, you're gonna close my laptop and make me say goodbye to everyone. But yeah, I'm super excited for Mania. I'm still kind of thinking I'm a one whip-ish kind of girl, so it'll be interesting to see how Mania goes, whether I do, after the month of May, just work on one at a time until they're complete, or whether I am okay with having multiple whips out there. We'll see. It's an ever-evolving thing. As long as I keep enjoying it, I don't see a problem either way. I think I did finish a book. I did mention that I was doing a beta read for an author. It has been released, so I can now talk about it. I love this book, guys. Absolutely love it. It's, oh, wow. I'm kind of, again, annoyed where it finished. But I mean, that's a good thing, right? Sorry, I hadn't downloaded the official book yet. I still had my copy. But I mean, it's good if you want to keep reading, right? So it's The Dark Professor by Candy Crumb and Amanda R. Browning. Oh, it's so good, guys. I never know how much to say without giving it away. Let's see if they've got a... Don't go straight to the prologue. It's great. No, I can't find a blurb. Yeah. Like, I picked a few things going in, but they were so much better than I expected them to be. Yeah, looking forward to book 2. We've got the prologue for book 2, so hopefully we'll get the actual book in a week or two. it's great. It's got vampires, um, but they're not. They're in the story, but they're not like all of the story. It's set in a, I guess, real life perspective. Um, I'm not huge on the vampire books, but I loved this one, so definitely pick it up. Um, if you are interested and don't want to sort of buy a book based on that pretty much nonsense, feel free to message me and I can try and work through it a little more without giving any spoilers away. I may even contact Candy and see if they do have a blurb. I know that it's on ebook at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're looking to publish in paperback. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I got half, like, no, which way this way? I got that much stitched today, and that's all I've had stitched in the last week, and I read a book. But anyway, I'm going to let you go, and as I said, hopefully next week I'll have made up for my lack of progress and have a ton to show you. Until then, bye guys.